You ever feel like everyone's just like watching you all the time? Not everyone in particular, but like you always feel like someone's watching you. Well, because they are. There's always going to be somebody watching you. Someone you knew, someone from your hometown. There's always somebody. And I'll tell you exactly why. You might not be the type of person that watches other people. You might be on a good path. You might be lifting. You might be I don't know what you exactly are doing. Maybe you have a good job. Whatever it is. But not everyone is like that. A lot of people are different. For me personally, I don't doom scroll, so I don't understand. I don't really understand the type of people who like actively like doom scroll and take breaks. I'm not really into that world. And same way that you wouldn't be exactly into their world on how they work. Like I'll explain in a second what exactly that means. But the point is that when you're doing these good habits and you're staying off your phone, really you're not doing all that type of stuff, and you're living your best life, you're improving yourself. A lot of people aren't like that. And this happens a lot, especially if, like, for example, you're worried about what people from your old high school or what people from your current high school are thinking about you. A lot of people do not portray themselves in the way that they are. A lot of people put on a mask. A lot of people are completely different in person than when they're away from everybody. In person, that they might be some cool guy and everything like that, but when they're not around people, they don't know what to do, and they're craving that, maybe that connection. So what they end up doing is they go online on social media and start looking at other people, looking at what other people are doing, and figuring out what you're doing. Let's say, for example, you start your content account. For example, let's use that as an example. You might have some people from your hometown or from your old high school, whatever it is, watching that content, and you might feel embarrassed. You might feel like, oh, this is so bad, but it's actually a good thing. I'll tell you exactly why. One reason why it's a good thing is because it's giving you watch time. You know what I'm saying? Especially the retention rate and everything like that. The more people watch, like when people that don't like you or maybe looking at you like, I don't know, they're just watching you and stuff like that, they're gonna watch the longest. So these group of people actually give you your base. You know what I'm saying? You can never get zero views because they will, these guys will be your reviews. You know what I'm saying? That's one way. Why that is. That's not really too big of a reason, but that is a reason why. One reason why. Other reason why it's so good to have people watching you is because when you have people watching you, it gives you more of a reason to not fail. And this is something that your mind does, not you in particular, something that your the human mind will do, that as people keep watching you, you perform better. The more people dislike you, this is why you'll see so much people that are so disliked, they do so well. The more people that dislike you, the more energy you gain. What that means is that, let's say for example you're doing a sport. Let's say what's a solo sport? I don't want to talk about wrestling. I want to talk about something else. So let's say, for example, soccer. You're a forward and nobody likes you. Your whole entire school hates you. You're gonna have more motivation to like score and make them more angry because they're giving you energy. They're giving you more force so you can execute better. It happened to me actually. I just mentioned the wrestling part that I wasn't too liked well in my area too much. Like a lot of people, not too like disliked or anything like that, but a lot of people. I didn't talk to a lot of people in my grade or anything like that, but I noticed that a ton of people were watching me and stuff like that, and it gave me a lot of energy when I was going into college. In my first year of college, you know, I did alright. I broke into the team. I became a starter and everything like that, but as I was doing that, I started noticing, a lot of people will tell you that, oh, no one's watching you, but that's a lie. Every single time I'd post a story, all of a sudden I would see a ton of old people from my high school, from my old high school. Some people that maybe like thought of me as like, oh yeah, we're not gonna be friends with him because he's not just as cool as us or something like that. I never really dealt with that issue too much. I was always friends with everybody because I always was able to talk to anybody. I never had any ego or anything. Like I was never fake. I literally was just my natural self. Some people are like, oh yeah, he's a little bit weird or stuff like that. But they're putting on their fake image, so I don't want to be around them. So we both kind of go hand in hand and stuff like that. But I started noticing these people started watching me a lot more, and they started constantly viewing my story, and no one no people say like, oh yeah, when you start doing well, like people start reaching out to you. That hasn't happened to me. No one's reached out to me yet. And I feel like because I'm still in the come up right now, I'm still on that way. But as well, when I started doing my content as well, this is where I started seeing it even more. I didn't see I saw it a lot when I was doing my sport and everything like that. I mean, I'm still doing my sport, but when I started doing my content, that's when I noticed so many people were watching me. Maybe because I was doing well in my athletic achievements, but that's not the full reason. It's I was not like somebody that was like crazy known in my area. I was basically like, you know, I don't know, maybe like a robotics kid basically. Not really, but like in terms of like how I was like talked to really, I feel like maybe I'm not too sure. But no, I was like, I was not seen as like anything like crazy. But then like all of a sudden you got tons of people watching you, and this is what happens. This is the big thing that happens a lot after high school. When people are in college or when they leave high school, they have a ton of free time. And what ends up happening is, let's say for example, you're doing all the right things. You're meditating. I don't want to say journaling. I ain't journaling. I don't even do a meditation as well. Like I'm not the sort of guy who's like, oh yeah, meditate 45 minutes every single day and sit in the sun. And I don't know. I just do it for 5 minutes and it helps my mind out. I'm not doing 30 minutes. I got stuff to do. You know what I'm saying? I don't have time to sit around for 30 minutes and meditate. You know what I'm saying? I'm not doing that. But yeah, anyways, if you're meditating, you're lifting once or twice a week at least. I used to lift twice a week actually during my season, and I put on a ton of muscle while doing that. So twice a week, you don't have to lift 6 times a week. You probably shouldn't do that anyways. But I mean, if you want to do it for your mind mentality and everything like that, go ahead. I don't really know why you would do that, but you do you. But anyways, if you're doing the right things, you're just improving yourself. You're being the best version of yourself. A lot of people dislike that. A lot of people from your hometown do not like that. And I I actually have no idea the reason why this is. I have possible theories. I have a lot of old friends and this is something that my experience probably doesn't relate to you. When I started doing well, I mean that's not even an equal flexing. I'm not even a crazy athlete or anything. I'm just a decent athlete. I was on a couple of dual meets and stuff like that, but it wasn't anything crazy. Like I was just doing well for my area. I came from a small area, Long Island, so we're not too big of an area. So what do you call it? Yeah, Long Island and New York, so it's not crazy area. There's also, of course, bigger areas in New York, so it's a small area. But when I started doing well, I started doing decent. I'm not a crazy athlete. You know what I'm saying? I'm just a normal person. But when I just started, posting me against there were some local D1 teams that I wrestled in dual meets, so like D1 teams that were like known in the area, so that's why like a lot of people, like a lot of old friends probably were thinking like I made it, but I really didn't. I'm gonna be honest. But anyways, the point is that like, a lot of the old people started like being more colder to me. A lot of people started just like I don't know, not talking to me as much. And when they were like giving like hints to like I told them one time I think I told them about my elbow injury and stuff like that. And instead of like, I only told like one person ever this before I posted on my story. I posted on my story like 9 months later. It was like a comeback post. I got injured the next day and I literally deactivated the account for the last 3 months because I got so embarrassed after that. Oh my god. But no, I started noticing that like a ton of my old friends were like saying like when I told one of them about my elbow injury, he's like, oh yeah, you should just quit wrestling, like leave, like quit wrestling. Like he was like being very cold to me. One time like I confront him about that. I'm like, yeah, why you barely like respond to any of my messages? You barely even like are nice to me anymore, anything like that. Why are you being so against me? And it's not like he's like, oh yeah, I'm not on the phone all the time. Like, oh you like he's like, I don't know, he's trying to press me or something like that. And I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. And I feel like as well, like in my mood, because a lot in high school I was a lot more anxious and a lot more seen as lower. I wasn't the best athlete in high school. I really had my breakout in college. I'm gonna be honest, but I feel like a lot of people viewed me lower because of my athletic achievements in high school. But now I'm in that area, and it makes people feel uncomfortable, which I don't understand. I don't understand. I love to see my other friends doing well, and I'm like, yeah, I have one of my friends as well. He's a wrestler as well from my old high school. He made the finals in the New York State collegiate state tournament, and I'm like, that's sick. You know what I'm saying? I'm so happy for him. I can't wrestle that tournament this year because I'm hurt. and I'm just coming back around this time, but I'm so happy for him. And like I don't understand why people like holding grudges or get upset about other people doing well. I'm happy for him. You know what I'm saying? Like, very nice dude and does the right things and has a good GPA, has a secure future, has a good everything. So I'm very happy for him, and I understand why a lot of my old friends are very cold to me and stuff like that. It's very weird. It's like I don't understand, especially with the content as well. And when I started doing content, I think now a little bit more people are like watching me a lot more now because now my views are getting up. Not on my long form videos. I'm still new to that, but on my short form videos, the views are up like a bit, not crazy amount, but good for like a local wrestler and whatever. And I'm still wrestling in college, so I still have my 4 year eligibility. So I feel like all this stuff, and I have it just makes people feel a little uncomfortable. But I don't really. I'm always just trying to do the right things. You know what I'm saying? Just praying, and that's the thing with this. I started talking about myself a little bit. Maybe you got a little bit disconnected, but I'm just talking about in my point of view. I'm not trying to be you. I'm just trying to talk about my story and everything like that. But for me, what I've done recently is I stopped listening to music and I started meditating a lot more, and as well posting more content. I'm probably never gonna post music in my videos ever again. I just realized that recently that it's against my religion to post music in your videos. So I'm probably gonna put instrumentals, but not any music, and really just trying to improve myself internally. Of course, I can never be the on the levels like Penn State wrestlers and stuff like that. But if I can internally build myself and be the best version of myself, that's all that matters. And that's all that should really matter for you. You shouldn't be focused on trying to make 10K, like make like 100K a month so other people can see it. You should be focused on building yourself internally. If you can build yourself internally and live the best life internally, then where you are doesn't matter. Whether you're like, I don't know, like at a random like small community college and you live in like a small house and you barely have any money and everything like that. If you can build yourself internally, if you can keep praying, keep being the best version of yourself, lifting, meditating, helping other people out and doing that, that's much more better than the D1 Penn State athlete that feels terrible about himself but it has all this external stuff. Build yourself internally and don't worry about anyone else who's watching. The more people that are watching, remember, it gives you more energy to keep going after and keep being the best version of yourself. So that's really that. Woo. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you related to that a bit. I don't really want to mention too much about my sport because it gets a little pressure on me and stuff like that. But it's something that I'm like center my whole day around. So I'm gonna talk about it a bit. But I'm doing decent. But I don't want to ever be that guy who is focused on that. I want to, just I'm just a normal person at the end of the day that's just doing something that he enjoys. You know what I'm saying? I enjoy making, and that's the thing as well. Like when people saw me making content, they got a little upset about me, like being like, "Oh yeah, he's weird" and stuff like that. I had one of my people that I went to a wrestling club with started commenting a bunch of stuff, and like I don't know, one day like 3 o'clock in the morning, he started commenting stuff on like a video 2 months ago. He commented like 6 times, like a bunch of weird gifs. I blocked him. I'm like, all right, I'm done with him. He was boosting my engagement, but at a certain point, I'm like, all right, this is a little weird, but maybe some people like are making fun of it, but I don't care. I enjoy it. So why would I let other people control what I do? You know what I'm saying? If you don't post content because you're scared of what other people think, you're controlled by someone else. So never be controlled by anyone else, and just keep being the best version of yourself and just doing something you enjoy. Of course, this is frowned upon doing this content in my area and stuff like that, or most areas probably, but I don't care. I enjoy it. I love it. It's something that I want to keep doing, and that's really that.